Azir! You're here, you're here.
Yes, patch 7.19 notes.
Notes! I like
Uh,
this part in here. I was reading it while you were resetting stuff.
which
It's
part?
funny.
In the
He
first,
says,
the patch
in the
notes?
second part, it says, Azir, unlike most long-range champions, is hard to kill even when you do manage to get on him. And if you get too close, he can even counter-initiate with a timely Shurima shuffle.
The
Like he's
Shurima
dancing.
shuffle is awesome. He puts a clone of himself in one place, sends that clone of himself to a position, then uses his other ability which pulls him to a clone, and then uses his R ability which pushes a wall and knocks everybody forward. So he makes the clone, launches the clone, drags himself to the clone, and then throws a wall up. And that's the Shurima shuffle.
There should be a there should be like a dance about it.
There should be. That would be awesome. So what did they change to his ear?
His
They changed
uh
his base stats a bit.
base stats, his Q got all fucked up.
What did they do to his Q? Range down on soldier repositioning, balance tweaks. Just some tweaks, it looks like. Buddy system. Soldiers clump closer together upon arrival. That's interesting. So if you use his Q, what it does is it takes his clones and, well, his soldiers. They're not really clones of him. They're supposed to be soldiers of Shurima. But his sand soldiers dudes, and it puts them closer together. Like, Q is like take any soldier and move them to this position where your mouse is. So now when they move to that position, they're standing closer together than they used to be, which they were kind of like on two different sides of a champion if you sent them to a champion. I don't know how that's gonna play out. I don't know how much closer together they are, but that's
I
interesting.
like that what they removed from the W that his stuff can't attack wards now.
Yeah, I guess it keeps him from attacking a ward from safety. Like if the ward's in the river brush, and he just sent it over the wall and started attacking it. That would
That happens so much in ARAM.
yeah, so much in ARAM. So what else do we got? We got shifting sands, shield AP ratio, 0.7 ability power. Oh, they gave him the shield with his E. So now when his E is the one that pulls him to one of the soldiers. And now when he pulls to one of the soldiers, he gains a shield while pulling himself. So let's say he puts the soldier in the middle of an enemy or two and he pulls himself in, he's going to be shielded when he goes in. It also works for pulling himself away. You know, like Tristana's jump, she can get hit while she's going away. I think Azir is the same way. He can get hit while he's being pulled. So
Mm.
if he's trying to run away, like puts a soldier in front of him, cues it further away from him, and then ease to it, he gets a shield from that. That's pretty nice.
It's only a 1.5 second shield now instead of 4.
Oh, and they made it to where was that already there? If Azir hits an enemy champion while he's casting his E, like if he goes through an enemy champion, he gains a W ability charge. It
I
doesn't
guess
say
so.
new.
It's updated. It's what it says. I don't know if
Well, the
that.
shield up front is updated.
No, I think it's everything that's like I think see it says new shield ratio, shield duration, updated, shield up front, and to battle. I think they're the same.
Okay.
Removed.
They removed
What?
the Shurima bumper cars. Wall soldiers now only interrupt enemy dashes over them while the soldiers themselves are moving. After reaching their final destination, wall soldiers now behave as normal terrain. So while his wall is moving forward, nobody can dash through it, just like with Poppy's W. So they're going to hit the wall and get knocked backwards if they try to dash. It only says dashes though, so I think flashes and blinks still work like Ezreal Z. They also increased the amount of soldiers in the wall by 1 per level. And they
Crazy.
reduced the cooldown of the wall. Um,
Sinzao.
yes, Zinzao. Let's move on to him. base attack speed is
Down.
down. Attack speed scaling factor is up. Up by a good percent. That's a good bit. His passive, every third attack now deals extra damage as AD. Every third attack now heals Xin Zhao. It's good that they made that to his passive. I think that used to be on his W.
I don't know.
And they changed his W. We'll get to that in a second. His damage for his Q is down at later levels. It's down a lot. Oh, but the ratio is up. So you're going to get more damage from your bonus attack damage, but less damage if you don't have that attack damage. So it forces him to build attack damage some, which is nice because a lot of Xin Zhao's were just going off of their normal damage and they were building attack speed and critical. And this makes it to where you can't forego as much attack damage if you still want to do the same thing. Xin Zhao, his W, Wind becomes lightning. Xin Zhao performs a quick slash in a cone in front of him, then thrusts his spear forward in a line. All enemies hit by the thrust are slowed by 50% for 1.5 seconds.
Ouch.
Yes. Slash damage is 30 to 70 with 0.3 total attack damage. Thrust damage is 30 to 170. Damn, that hits hard. So if you get hit by the slash and the thrust, you're hit with 70 and then 170 at max damage. So that's
crazy.
Yeah, that's hitting you for 340. Just from that, plus attack damage bonuses. Force of a Great Typhoon. Wind becomes lightning's cast time. Oh, Wind becomes lightning. That's the name of the spell. Okay, I was like, Wind becomes lightning. Wind becomes lightning's cast time is reduced by bonus attack speed.
When Janna shoots a tornado at you, it becomes a thundercloud of death.
Yeah, that would be scary. Put Janna and Xin Zhao in a room together, see what happens.
Nothing good.
Alright, E. Audacious Charge.
Costs less.
Costs less. It does less damage. Slow duration is less. It only slows for half of a second now instead of 2 seconds.
That's nice.
Swift as a coursing river.
It's all the force of a great typhoon.
Casting Audacious Charge grants Xin Zhao 40, 45, 50, 55, 60 attack speed for 5 seconds. So he loses his slow duration pretty much with it. It might let him get off another attack with that slow duration, but he gains 60% attack speed at max level for 5 seconds. That's pretty nice. He'll have to think of another way to slow, but there's ways around that. New R Crescent Shield. Remove 2 tanky. No longer grants bonus resistances, but instead...
Mysterious as the dark side of the moon.
Look at W. Force of a Great Typhoon, and then they just want to make him the Mulan champion. Oh, that's funny. Alright. So mysterious as the dark side of the moon. For 3 seconds after casting Crescent Guard.
The passive is strong as a raging fire. Somebody likes Disney.
Oh, Xin Zhao. I like you more as a champion now. For 3 seconds after casting Crescent Guard, Xin Zhao will negate all damage originating from champions further than 450 units away. Duration is extended by attacking champions. Alright. So anybody that is a ranged champion and further than 450 units away from Xin Zhao will not be able to damage him for 3 seconds. Unless he keeps attacking people. And then it's going to be even more than 3 seconds that he's invulnerable from ranged damage. This makes it to where Xin Zhao can get like right in the middle of a team fight, pop his R, and as long as he's still attacking people, he only has to worry about damage from people close by to him. And that makes him very scary sometimes. I'm really interested to see how that'll play out in a fight, and that's an interesting one. I like it. All right, Aatrox. I still think we can skip Aatrox, but let's go over what they changed. His Q, don't stop me now.
Having
They
a
went
good
Queen.
time, having a ball.
They were having fun with this patch. Aatrox is now unstoppable during Dark Flight's descent. Alright, so Dark Flight, I think, is the one where he picks an area, jumps up into the air, and then slams down into that area.
All I'm saying is, if you're getting an Aatrox just coming at you and you can't stop him, he's on his Q. The game's not broken.
I'm interested though, because I always thought Dark Flight kind of resembled a dash in a way, because it dashes you forward. You don't blink forward. You are moving forward because of a skill, and you're actually moving through the air to do it. I wonder if it would be blockable by Poppy's W or the Shurima wall by Azir. I don't know. That'd be something to test. But it says unstoppable, so I'm guessing unstoppable. I don't know what his R does. Do you know what Aatrox's R does?
Massacre. Additional attack range. That's what it does.
I see that you can have additional attack range with it now. What does it do?
I don't play Aatrox.
Alright, let's go look at Aatrox. What does he do? We're going to put this alphabetical, because he's the first in alphabetical. Abilities are Aatrox draws in the blood of his foes, damaging all nearby enemy champions around him and gaining increased attack speed and bonus attack range for a short duration. And now he gets extra attack range for that also. Great. Way to go, Aatrox. I don't think that's gonna really thrust him into being a good champion, but we'll see.
Caitlyn!
I love Caitlyn. Alright, previous attack.
Don't.
You don't love Caitlyn?
No, she's not fun to play for me. She's like, boom, headshot, and I'm like, you shot a turret! What?
Wait. Now it's saying that headshots can be procced on turrets? That was not a thing before.
I didn't even know that as I read it. That wasn't even a thing I was trying to say. Okay.
Previous attack speed changes reverted. Reduced trap upon... Oops, I'm sorry. Reduced trap uptime and vision, but procs deal more damage later. Less health early. Headshots can proc on turrets. I'm guessing that's with her E. Let's see.
I did not realize that Caitlyn's W was called a Yordle Snap Trap.
It's... I didn't either. And it's got cupcakes in it. I think I know which Yordle she's trying to capture.
Me?
Yes. She's trying to capture you.
Oh boy.
Alright, so let's see. What did they do to her? They made her base health lower, her health growth stat higher, so her health grows faster. But she starts at a lower health.
Base attack speed is up. Innate bonus attack speed is down.
Innate bonus attack speed down. Attack speed at level 1 unchanged. Attack speed growth is doubled.
Oh boy.
So she gets twice as much attack speed as she did every time that she levels up.
I'm not going to want to be on a team against Caitlyn.
Passive headshot. Headshots now proc on turrets.
Turrets have faces.
But see, okay, here's the thing about headshots. Headshots have to be either procced by your W or by your E. Your E that shoots a net. If you hit somebody with a net, it procs a headshot on them, and then your next auto attack on them does a lot of extra damage. It also resets your auto attack, so if you've just auto attacked and then they get stuck, you get another auto attack, you get to shoot them and they get a headshot. And your E
over pacemaker.
And your E, when you shoot them and you hit somebody with a net, you get a headshot on them also. So I don't see how you could place a trap underneath the turret. So the turret's proccing headshots must be from your E. You must be able to net a turret now,
I guess. Except they didn't change the E.
They didn't change the E, but they might have just made it to where it now affects turrets.
But wouldn't that have been something to add to the list?
So I don't know how you're proccing on the turrets. I'm gonna have to play around with that.
Maybe it procs off an auto attack onto a turret.
But that's not how you proc a headshot. Now, every 6th shot with Caitlyn's... Sorry. Let me mute this. Every 6th shot with Caitlyn's shot, she gets a stronger shot, but I don't think that counts as a headshot. Maybe it
Q! does. Pass-through damage increased.
Or does it count as a headshot? It might count as a headshot, and I always thought it was just increased damage.
Q!
Yes. Q, Piltover Peacemaker. Pass-through damage, as you said, increased to 67% to enemies beyond the first. So the first person that Q hits takes full damage. The second person hit and everybody past that takes 67% of the damage. Better than 50% of the damage. So you're still doing a lot of damage to everybody in the line.
W! Poor Yordles.
W now lasts a lot less time. So when you place the trap, it's going to be gone in a minute. Even at max W. Bonus headshot damage.
Increased by
a ton. So it's gone from 10 to 190 to 40 to 240. And even the attack bonus is increased. So instead of getting... See, now it was getting 0.6 of every AD that you had on Caitlyn. So if you had 10 AD on Caitlyn, it would give her 6 more damage to her headshot. But now 10 AD is 10 damage on her headshots. It's just straight up whatever you got in AD, that's how much extra damage you're doing. And that is ridiculous at high levels.
Target reveal duration has been dropped by 5 seconds.
That's good. You don't need 8 seconds of reveal on somebody.
Charge rate is increased overall at max level, but not at the levels leading up to it.
Okay, so your W, you get... it refreshes with charges. You can only use your W every time it recharges. So at early levels, it is a faster recharge. At later levels, it's slightly slower recharge. Makes sense. Janna! What did they do to Janna? E cooldown. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What? Oh, you were reading it too. Okay. Is increased in early ranks. Janna's basic attack range. Janna's basic attacks are stronger. Whoa. Q base range increased. Moves faster when charged.
So her tornadoes move faster when they're fully charged, and
her attack range is increased from 475 to 550.
So she has a further basic attack range. Her basic attacks do less damage. Her attack damage growth stat is halved. They don't want you building attack damage, Janna. That makes sense. Attack speed growth rate is increased slightly, so she gets more attack speed every level. Basic attack missile speed is faster, so they've made her basic attack missile travel faster to the target.
Die-hard veterans will find success as they navigate her new risks and rewards, but bandwagoners will be staring at significantly grayer screens. Shit.
Let's see. Base health increased, so she has more health, and she didn't gain health quite as fast, but she gets more of it early level, so that's alright. Her passive Tailwind. Janna now benefits from Tailwind's 8% movement speed increase. So she now moves faster, 8% faster. That's nice. Janna's basic attacks and single target spells deal bonus magic damage equal to 35% of her movement speed. Wait a second.
Weird.
So the faster she moves, the more her
damage she does.
Basic attacks and single target spells do. It doesn't affect her Q, but it affects her W. Tailwind's 8% movement speed increase counts towards a bonus magic damage. So at Janna's base movement speed of 335, Tailwind grants 9.38 bonus magic damage by itself. So just from Tailwind, you get bonus magic damage already because you already have a base of 335. Makes sense. Q Howling Gale now costs less. Holy shit. And it's now a flat 12-second cooldown at all ranks. Which I like that you get it faster earlier ranks. You don't get it as fast late ranks, but you're already shooting it at the basic shots. So I agree with this. The range has been increased by 150 the first level, but it's slightly less than it used to be at max level. But it's based on charge time. Oh no, that's not per level. That's based on charge time.
Howling Gale now always reaches its endpoint in 1.5 seconds, meaning a fully charged cast moves 75% faster than an instant cast.
That's beautiful. I like that. That should be really interesting. W's cooldown is down to 8 seconds from 12. Slow duration is down by 1 second, so it slows for less time. Passive movement speed is way down, but now you get the 8% to your passive, so that they're just kind of moving around where you're getting that passive movement speed.
Mm-hmm.
And the range is decreased, measured between hitbox edges.
That makes me sad.
Range increase for large targets, decrease for small ones. So you get... Oh, okay. So if the target is very, very big, you can... Okay. So her W used to have to click on somebody, and the range was decided by where the middle of that champion is. But now the range is decided by the edges of that champion. So a big champion like Sejuani, you'll be able to hit her from further back with the W than, say, a really thin champion like Jinx. You'll have to be a lot closer to her.
Her E's cooldown is different at all ranks now.
Yeah, they're making it I think that they really are just trying to make it to where Jannas level their E first rather than their Q, so that you get that 10 seconds on your shield. It doesn't really affect ARAM because
I'm still
ARAM
gonna level
Jannas.
my Q first.
Yeah, but in normal matches that could be powerful. You know, maybe put one into Q so you can be able to shoot your Q, and then.
Yeah, but I don't really play normal matches anyway, so.
What's the difference? It costs more, does a little bit of extra damage, but you're not getting too much more out of leveling your Q first now. Like, they got rid of the cooldown reduction on Q, and by leveling Q, you're just making it cost more mana. It does more damage, but other than doing more damage, it's not doing much for you. With your E, you're basically, by leveling it first in a normal game, you're halving the cooldown of it by the time it's fully leveled.
I didn't touch her R.
Nope. I like the R. I like the R. The R is good. Leave Janna's R alone.
Malphite!
Malphite. W passive armor is now tripled when Granite Shield is active. Okay, so Brutal Strike's passive armor is now tripled while Granite Shield is active. Now, Granite Shield, I believe this is passive. Let me verify that. I don't know the name of it. Yeah, Granite Shield is his passive. Malphite is shielded by a layer of rock which absorbs damage up to 10% of his maximum health. So, okay. So, when Malphite hasn't been hit for a few seconds, he gains a shield that allows him to take extra damage. Now, while that shield is active, while he has a shield on and hasn't been hit for a while, he gains triple the shield that, or the passive that Brutal Strikes gives. And the passive armor is 10 to 30. It's been decreased a little bit, but when you have 30 times 3, you have a bonus of 90. You have a 90% armor shield on Malphite when you have your shield, when you have your passive active. That is ridiculous. That is a whole lot. It makes Malphite a lot tankier at the first of a fight, at least. You have to take him down 10% to really start hurting him. Orianna, Q ball traveling speed increased. W and R will fire only when the ball stops moving. So you can't use W and R while the ball is en route to its destination anymore. So the ball now moves 200% or 200 speed faster. That's good. I always thought the ball was too slow. W command dissonance. If buffered, will fire at the destination when the ball has stopped moving. Okay, so you can use W while it's moving, but it will not go off until it gets to its destination. So it's like you've buffered the button. You've pressed it, and it's gonna go off, but not until the ball stops moving. So it won't go off exactly where the ball is like it used to. It'll wait till it stops moving and then go off immediately. That helps with people that have ping issues and stuff. Like if you have a really low ping rate, this will do it on 0 ping. It'll go off immediately instead of you having to wait. Okay, it's gone. It's stopped moving on my end, so now I can hit it, which could be a very bad latency issue.
0 ping was a good thing. I thought that's what they played on in.
0 ping is a good thing, which is why they've started adding move buffering, where you can start entering commands before it's happened, and it'll go off. And just this helps. This helps people with bad pings.
Okay.
Next champion is Ornn. Mana increased, Q and E mana cost decreased.
They really should have phrased that as mana cost for E and Q decreased, because it looks like Q and enema cost decrease.
Yeah, that could confuse a couple of people. So let's see, what is this? So he gets 40 mana. at level 1, and his Q Volcanic Rupture is just 55 at all ranks. It doesn't grow anymore, so you get the same mana for 8 at all ranks. Searing Charge has been decreased by its cost by 10 mana, so that's nice. 10 mana each. 50 mana spells are pretty cheap. Window shopping, general changes. Orange recommended items have been adjusted. That's interesting. So the items that show up without going into the shop have been adjusted. So you can go into the shop and just pick which item you want Orange to build on the battlefield, but it gives you like 4 or 5 suggestion items that you can pick from, and I'm guessing there's better suggestions now. We'll see. Smart buy. Orange mini shop UI now prioritizes health regen over attack damage when choosing items to display. I don't know if that's good or bad for Orange. I don't play him enough to know.
Okay. Vayne.
Let's see, what did they change with Vayne? Q bonus
Q.
damage increased, but no longer benefits from critical strike. R now extends the duration when a target Vayne has damaged in the last 3 seconds dies. So, let's see, what does it say? Q tumble. Trip not crit. Bonus damage is no longer increased when the attack critically strikes, so it's just the same bonus damage no matter what. The damage is 50 to 70% of total attack damage, up from 30 to 50% of a total attack damage. So it does more attack damage, but if you crit, that attack damage is no longer affected. Fair enough.
Yeah.
W. Silver Bolts. Percent health damage went from 6 to 12% to 4 to 12%. So she does less percent based damage on low W. So I guess you need to level W a little sooner.
Minimum damage.
Minimum damage is up at higher levels, down at lower levels. But that kind of makes up for it being from 6 to 4%. Now instead you're getting from 40 to 50 on level 1 of W. So that's not bad. R. Final hour. If a champion dies within 3 seconds of being damaged by Vayne, final hour's duration is extended by 4 seconds. This cannot extend the remaining duration past the initial maximum duration. But they're not going to list the initial maximum duration.
Huh.
Oh, okay. So let's say her initial maximum duration is 8 seconds. And 2 seconds have gone by and you get a kill, or somebody gets a kill that you've damaged within 3 seconds. The duration is extended by 4. But since it's only 8 seconds maximum duration from the beginning, that 4 seconds that you get can't go over 8 seconds. So if it's only been 2 seconds before you got that kill, you'll only get 2 seconds. Yeah, you'll only get 2 seconds back. Okay.
Vygar! Base health regen, and health regen growth increased. W cooldown reduced. He's even more broken for ARAM.
So his attack range is longer attack range. His base health regen is increased, and his health regen growth stat is increased. So I guess he had a health regen problem. I didn't know. I didn't feel like there was much problems with Vygar at the moment. So now W is 8 seconds at all ranks instead of 10 to 8 seconds. More drops. Every 50 stacks of Phenomenal Evil lowers Dark Matter's cooldown by 10%. So no Phenomenal Evil, that's the name of his passive, right?
I thought that was
I gotta log
what
in to see.
I thought that was what he stacked when he killed things.
Yeah, well, that would be his passive, I think.
Well, alright then.
Logging in, checking on it.
Oh, I was already logged in. I suppose I could have checked on it.
Well, you can check on it still. Mine's loading. I just want to know what Phenomenal Evil is of his.
That's his passive.
Okay. So, yeah. Every 50 stacks of his passive, you get Dark Matter's cooldown reduced by 10%. Lots of W's. And W is his strongest ability minus his ultimate, so it's a lot of damage. Alright. What are the items changes? That's all of the champion changes.
Ardent Censer.
Ardent Censer right now is broken, I know, in normal play. Basically, if you're not picking a champ that uses Ardent Censer, you're putting yourself at a bit of a disadvantage. So what do? Ardent Censer buff no longer restores health. The buff attack speed and damage skills with level again. Censor's owner now also gets buffed when the user heals or shields an ally. Okay, so new. Healing or shielding an ally champion now also grants you Ardent Censor's buff instead of only your ally. So you get a buff also. Removed. On hit heal. Ardent Censor's buff no longer restores health. Okay. Attack speed. So now you get 20 to 35% attack speed depending on your level instead of a flat 25. So less attack speed at lower levels, more attack speed at higher levels. That could actually be looked at as maybe a buff for Ardent Censer. I don't know. On hit damage, and it's the same thing. Instead of flat 25, it's 20 to 35 depending on your level. Okay. Bramble Vest. Cost increased, damage reflected decreased.
So it's more expensive, but it does less damage?
Yeah, it's 100 more gold. But it reflects less. Yeah, so they nerfed it.
They made it more expensive and do less.
Yeah.
Thornmail.
Thornmail armor increase. So Thornmail just got a little buff.
Edge of Night.
Edge of Night. Spell shield duration increased by 2 seconds and active cooldown reduced by 5 seconds. So you can use it more often and the shield duration lasts a little longer. It's active, puts a shield on you, but you have to charge up the shield when you use it before it applies. So it's nice that you'll be able to use that more often. Righteous Glory. Total cost is up. Combined cost is up. Also, it's just more expensive. Okay. They're like, these items, they're too cheap. We got to make these tanky items more expensive. The tanks, they're getting their items too easy. That's what they think.
Zeke's Convergence.
Burn damage more front loaded. Frostfire Covenant now procs when the passive slow is applied. Alright, so ally burn damage updated, front loaded. Upfront damage increased from 7.5% of the base attack damage to 25% of basic attack
17.5.
17.5. Thank you.
7 to 25. Holy shit!
Total burn damage is still 50% of attack damage.
What are you doing, Riot?
Frostfire Covenant. Froststorm no longer ignites from basic attacking a burning enemy. Now ignites when it slows a burning enemy. Okay. I don't know too much about Zeke's Convergence. I know you can link to another player and use it. I guess I should look this item up. Okay, so Zeke's Conversion gives 60 armor, 30 magic resist, 250 mana and 10% cooldown reduction. The mana I don't really care about. 60 armor and 30 magic resistance is nice. That's a nice item. Alright, when you activate it, you bind to an ally without an existing conduit. So you can't bind to somebody who's already bound to, like, Callista or something. But you can bind to an ally, and then casting your ultimate near allies surround you with a frost storm and ignite your allies' basic attacks for 10 seconds. Enemies inside your frost storm are slowed by 20%, and your allies' attacks burn the target for 50 bonus magic damage over 2 seconds. Damn. So, like, Leona could put that on Jinx, go right into the middle of somebody, slow everybody, and then Jinx does more damage.
Huh.
And Leona also gets a lot of armor and magic resistance for this. That's a really good item. I never knew it was that good.
Spell shields.
Right. Spell shields. This one has been a long time coming. Ever since League was created, spell shields have been set up to block every ability that hit within an instant of the shield popping. This was due to a code limitation that prevented spell shields from properly talking to enemy abilities. They now work as advertised. Only one spell gets blocked, even if the shielded champion is hit near simultaneously by multiple abilities at once. This won't come up as often as you might think. The window of protection was seriously tiny, but the more you know, or something. So basically, if you had a spell shield that would completely block a spell, and two spells were used instantaneously, it used to block both of them because that's the only way they could code it, but now they've made it to where it'll only block one of them. So it's just a little minor fix to what they wanted in the first place.
But it only affects Sivir, Nocturne, and Banshee. Doesn't affect Janna's spell shield.
Yeah. Surprised it doesn't block Morgana's, because Morgana has the spell block.
Rotating game mode.
Rotating game mode. Attack, defend, repeat. Nexus Siege blasts back into rotation. So we're getting a new rotating game mode that's been up before. We also updated the game mode with new features and some bug fixes.
Like Zaya, Rakan, Kayn, and Ornn now being playable in the game?
Yep. And Kayn tip. You can shadow step through walls into the back of the enemy spawn pad, but we don't recommend it because of lasers. Ornn tip. You can forge deployables from anywhere on the map. Okay. I don't know anything about that game mode. Let's move on. Scoreboard pings. You can now ping everything on the scoreboard, so knock yourself out.
What does that mean?
I think that means that if you hold tab, press your ping button, and then click on anything in that scoreboard, you can ping it. I don't know how that's going to look in game, but that could possibly mean that you could hold tab and ping one of the champions to say something about them. Maybe you're pinging that Jinx bought Infinity Edge or something. I don't know. That could have some uses.
Account transfers will temporarily be disabled from October 10th to November 20th as we get ready for preseason.
Alright.
Okay. Champion select.
Fine. Making quality of life upgrades to champion select over the next few patches. Let's see. Position filters. Top, mid, jungler, etc. Replace role filters, assassins, tanks, mage, etc. Thank you. Now they're going to show. They're now going to show the most commonly played champions by position from the previous patch, instead of showing assassin, tank, mage, etc.
Oh.
Mastery point sorting. Added a drop down next to the search bar to sort champs by highest to lowest mastery points. That's good. That's just a quality of life. Hextech chest filter to see champions you haven't earned a Hextech chest with. That's nice also. So you can filter and see which champions you can still earn chests with. I don't care about the bug fixes. Those are usually little. Upcoming skins and chromos. Oh, a New York skin. Oh, Beekeeper Singe. We need to introduce him to Beekeeper May.
There's a new Janna.
Sacred Sword Janna. And
That's
then
it. Give the Tornado Girl a blade.
Yeah, why not? Eternal Sword Yi. That does not look like Master Yi. I thought that was a Yasuo skin when I first saw it. And then
what?
sorting.
Master Yi has a face?
Master Yi has a face in this one.
Huh.
Soaring
He looks
Sword
a lot
Fiora.
younger than I thought he would.
I like that Fiora skin. That looks good. Okay, and then there's some new chromas.
It's just the Yi and the Janna.
The Janna looks cool. I like her sword. Wonder if it ever leaves the sheath. Alright, and that's it.
Candy King Ivor no longer hums over all of his VO lines.
Oh, that's good. That could
During Riven's
break
joke
immersion.
animation, her fingers no longer clip through her sword.
You don't want to break immersion with those things.
We fixed a grammar error in the copy when more than one key fragment drops.
But you know you gotta fix those grammar errors. They were probably getting so many bug requests about that. It's like, alright, we get it, we screwed up.